I'd let somebody in the band, and even though they're not writing any songs, I'd give them credit for writing songs, and then they'd quit and then walk around telling everybody they wrote all our songs. It's just not right.
Yes, no matter what you do, people are people, and you can't change that.
Yeah, it's just that people got ego problems.
Yeah, it's
a lot of ego problems. It's not a question of being appreciated or not appreciated. People insist on, I want to get something out of this emotionally, when there is nothing for them to get something out emotionally. You're not the songwriter. You're not the main guy. You're not, how do you join a band? I'm going to join Ozzy's band and I'm going to become the star of the show. Yeah. Well, good luck. Right? It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
But I've had members in the band that felt that they deserve what I got, but they're not doing what I do. So how does that work? How do you join a band 20 years into their career and expect to get the same respect as the guy who put the band together?
Yeah, just ask the Eagles, right?
No, not an ego problem. Yeah. You don't come in there with expectations like that. That's beyond reality, isn't it?
Absolutely.
We had issues like that with when you sign members later on, way later on after the fact. They want the same credit and accolades that original members get. And you can't do that. You can't have expectations like that. You shouldn't have joined the band to begin with. That's not realistic. In more recent years, we had those issues. Our newest guy, which has been with us for, 6 years now, which is, the time has gone by in a blink, has worked out the best out of everything that we've ever had. He doesn't get writing royalties because he's not writing. Simple as that. He gets paid for what work he does. That's the way that works. I've got to be his boss. I've got to be the overseer, and that's it. He becomes my employee rather than an equal in my business. That doesn't work. Because when you give people that kind of leeway, when they haven't worked for it, it's never appreciated.
Yeah, I've been a sideman in the past, and I knew I was getting X amount of money to do a job, and I had to do the job. And it wasn't appropriate for me to get it in my head, well, I'm a better singer or a better guitar player, and then all of a sudden start taking center stage. I was being paid to do a job, and that's something a lot of guys don't understand. You get into a band, and like you say, you and Rob, you're the CEO and the CFO, and that's the way it is. You guys are the boss, and you've got an employee or employees. And if the employees don't understand what the role is, then maybe they need to go and work somewhere else.
Well, that's right, and that's what happens, and there's growing pain with that. It's not easy to get the combination completely correct. And it's interesting because what is the right combination? The right combination is somebody you can get along with and somebody who has complete understanding of what their expectations are. What their expectations are and what my expectations are of them. It's partially how well they play, but it's almost more important how well they get along and how well they understand what is necessary of their playing. To understand how they fit in. Find the right bass player that augments the great drumming. That bass player can do backup vocals that sound good with my voice. Those were not easy things to actually get in place. It's just not as simple as, well, we'll just hire another bass player and away we go. Oh, no, that doesn't really work. Have a bass player that doesn't get along with Rob. Have a bass player that can't sing. There's always some little issue somewhere along that, well, that's not going to work out. And eventually, and it took years to find the right guy. The other thing is that the misconception, particularly of Anvil, that people just don't, you guys are better as a four-piece. Well, you know what? You'd be shocked to find out that there's even been songs on albums that it's only two-piece. I played everything other than the drums. I sang it all, played all the bass, played all the guitars, and everyone's going, that's great, that's a four-piece band. No, it's not. It's Lips and Robble. These people don't really, they have no clue what they, and that's what I'm saying. You're going to see that kind of guys are better as a 4-piece band, and you're going, man, here's somebody who has no clue. That's somebody who has no fucking clue.
Yeah, I get it. I had a 5-piece band, and I pared it down to 3, and it was very important. Like you say, your bass player has to sing, and your bass player and your drummer have to be in sync. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. And for somebody to just show up with a bass and say, I'm here, and not do the job, that's not helping Lips. It's not helping Rob.
No, the thing is, it took a while to get all the contingencies covered. Everything is there. I actually have more confidence in the band that exists today than I had in all the years as a band. I really feel as though I finally got the right combination. Everything is there. Everything that is needs to be there is there, plus the right attitudes. It's awesome.
Yeah, and it shows when you play live. Like I say, I was at that show in London, and you guys were a well-oiled machine. You were really tight. And Chris, I guess he calls himself Christ, or other people call him Christ. He's doing his job, and like you say, he's that secret sauce or whatever that you needed.
Yeah, stage presence. You can be the best player in the world, and you've got no presence. Or that when people look at you, they don't like you. You can be a great player, they just don't like you. What can be said? A prime example that I think of when I think of things like that is wonderful and amazing as a guitar player is Vinnie Moore. He's a guy who's actually in UFO. He's no Michael Schenker. And he didn't get accepted as a Michael Schenker. And UFO couldn't really re-emerge, even though they got a great guitar player. It still didn't give them the key to the door. Sometimes it has a lot to do with the presence, what the person looks like, how their attitude comes through the music. And if that's not correct, you can stand on your ear and spit nickels, and you're not going to get anywhere. As crazy as that sounds, we've had 2 to 3 different bass players in a succession of 3-4 years, and wow, when you get the right guy, what a difference. And you don't realize until you get that guy that there is a difference. When we finally got Christ in the band, the first show that we ever did was at a festival in Germany where Christ came and did the show with us, and it was actually unbelievable. He did an intro to Winged Assassins, and as soon as he did that, the crowd went fucking crazy, and you're going, I've never seen that happen. I've never seen that happen for our bass player, ever. In all the years I've ever been in the band, I've never seen a crowd applaud our bass player. It just never happened before. So even right there from the get-go, you're going, okay, he's doing something right. Something is clicking. Maybe it's the way he looks. Maybe it's his face. Maybe it's just his whole persona is being accepted by the audience. And that's magical. That's not something you can predict. It's not something that you can tailor make. It's something that either is or is not. And it's as simple as that. And that's why I'm saying it. It's magical when you get the right combination of people in your band. It is. And that's why bands that change members fail. Because the chemistry no longer works.
Well, there can be no magic without the right chemistry, that's for sure. Yeah.
That's right.
So you found it. You guys work really well together, and that's evident in your live shows.
One thing I've definitely learned, everybody talks about a second guitar, but I'm going to tell you, nothing can compare as far as the level of how important a second voice is. Way more important than any second guitar. Any day of the week, having a second voice is really, really important if you're going to do any kind of vocal work in a band, or if you want your band to actually be noticed that you're any good. Your vocals are your front or your fronting of the band, the better that is, the better your band is, really.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah, I don't really have any more questions for you, but what I do like to do on the show is to give my guests the last word. So what I'll do at this point, Steve, is I'll turn it over to you to say whatever you like. If there's something you feel passionately about that you want to say to the people, go ahead.
Well, what I want to say is, first thing is, fuck COVID-19. Let's do what we all have to do and obey the stupid rules, as ridiculous as we might think they are. Let's try to all stay safe. Let's get through this damn thing and start having concerts again and enjoying our lives.
True words were never spoken. Well, I started doing this podcast for fun. And as we all know, there's not a whole lot of money in the entertainment world for most of us anymore. But thanks to you, this has been another fun one. So until such a time as guys like you and I can sit down and have a coffee or a beer or whatever and swap stories in person, I thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to be here with me. And I wish you all the best. And until next time, cheers.
Okay, thanks very much. And I'll see you next time you come out to London.
Absolutely, you will. I'll be the first one in line.
Okay, man.
Well, there you have it. Steve Lips Kudlow, original founding member, lead guitar player, lead singer from the iconic Canadian metal band Anvil. And now I will leave you with a couple of my favorite newer Anvil tracks, Bitch in the Box from their recent album Pounding the Pavement, and Nabbed in Nebraska from Anvil Legal at Last, their most recent album. Enjoy.
Where the fuck are we? Where are we now? Robbo, where the fuck are we now?
You know, man, I'll tell you, that motherfucking little box pisses me off.
Oh, fucking Christ help me! Fuck!
Look, I got an app on my little box here, our little friend, and now we can have a GPS. We're on satellite. This thing will tell you exactly where you want to go, and there won't be any problem.
Okay, well,
let's get going.
Okay, come on.
Come on, I got this thing all worked out.
Computer voice, emotion free, where to go and where to be. She keeps talking, take a detour, construction zone. There is no map, I'm on my own. All by yourself, you are diving. Bitch in the box tells me where to go. Bitch in the box. Bitch in the box.